Hey everybody, Leanna Martens, your best Edmonton real estate agent. Welcome. And today I have one of my favorite, if not the favorite, mortgage broker that I've worked with for over a decade. Her name is Jackie Woodward, and she has a breadth of experience. And we are going to be talking about the hot questions on buyers' minds for 2025. So if you're considering buying a house in 2025, you do not want to miss this. So welcome, Jackie. Thank you for coming.
Hello, and thank you.
And remind me where you are right now.
I am in Yuma, Arizona for the winter months.
Lovely. So I think what we're going to do is we will just hop right into it. How's that sound?
Lovely.
All right. So the first question is, this is something that I am sure you get all the time. Should buyers wait for interest rates, or should they just go ahead and make the move?
Well, my feeling is, why would you pay your landlord's mortgage payments when you can pay your own? And interest rates are going to go up and down, and the economy is going to be good, not so good. And I just really feel that having a home for your shelter, which everybody needs shelter, is the way to go.
Yeah, 100% agree. So you were just sharing this, and I'd love to share it with your audience, is that you've been in this business for 40 years.
Yes.
That's an immense amount of history to be able to draw on and experience. And so
Yes.
first-time home buyers, many times, they do not have that perspective. They have this perspective, right? And whatever the news stream is feeding them in this tiny moment. But when you have 40 years of experience, when you say interest rates are going to go up and interest rates are going to go down, it's because you've lived interest rates up and down. And what you've realized is what? What do you realize at the end of the day?
Well, it's you still need shelter. You still need a roof over your head. And it doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense for them to pay rent. That's where you're going with it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, the real estate values or the prices in Edmonton are so reasonable.
Mhm.
And when you look at the amount that it costs you to own your own home versus renting, is okay, maybe there's a little bit more that you're shelling out every month, but I look at that as a savings. You're building equity, your
Yes.
own equity, not your landlord's equity.
Yes, 100%. And the perspective that you get. And when I say that, the reason I say you have 40 years of perspective is because when I work with a buyer, for example, because it's not just about this moment, it's about what does this house do for you in the future? It does build equity. It's so important.
Yeah. And I know that you're using the word expert. And I think I want to just go a little bit into that. I'm a mortgage expert.
Yeah.
You're a real estate expert. And a lot of people that are first-time home buyers, they look at their parents. They ask their parents. And I mean, our parents are our parents. That's how we got through life. That's how we got to where we are today. But are you experts in mortgages today or real estate today?
That's perfect. And that leads me right into the next question is, what are the most common mistakes you see first-time home buyers make?
Well, a lot of them will talk to their parents or to somebody in their family who maybe bought a home and took a mortgage out about 30 years ago.
100%.
Yeah. And it changes and changes and changes. And I mean, really what it is that you're the ones that are making the mortgage payments.
Yeah.
You're the ones that need to make your decisions and along with the experts.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good point. So let's talk about pre-approvals. So for a new home buyer, when they hear this pre-approval and they'll come to a realtor. So let's say they come to me first before they come to you. And I say, okay, well, listen, you really got to go see Jackie first because this is where it starts. Tell me about pre-approvals.
Well, pre-approvals are different with the lenders. Some of them will do a pre-approval and it's just basically a rate hold, but it's called a pre-approval. Other lenders will do a pre-approval and they'll take a credit application and review it. And they'll say, yeah, you're good to go. This is how much you can qualify for. But
what's the difference between those two? And why is that important?
Well, a rate hold is a rate hold. They really didn't look at your financial situation. And buyers, like if you're a first-time home buyer, you don't know what to tell the expert. The expert needs to ask you the right questions. So there's questions such as, are you getting child tax benefit? Yes, you are getting alimony and child support, but we find out that your ex has been paying it by cash and you've been using it to buy groceries. Those funds can't be used to qualify you. So with a pre-approval, it's so important to get pre-approved by a true expert. when I say expert, I hope I can speak from experience in that I'm 20 years in the bank and I'm 20 years as a mortgage broker. And a lot of times when you do walk into a bank, you don't know how much experience that person sitting at the desk at the front of the bank has. And
100%.
you're gonna tell her what what she's asking, but maybe there's not the right questions that are being asked. And then all of a sudden, when it comes time that you've got a pending offer, maybe it's multiple offers, you're totally stressed. You're finding out, no, they never asked you an important question because you didn't know. You didn't know you needed to tell them.
So I'll piggyback on what you've just said. So in our market last year, well, since COVID, there's been 2 years actually. Last year was a difficult one where a lot of pre-approvals, like we were coming in and we were doing competing offers, right? So it was a really strong market and it really meant very little. Like the pre-approval letter was super important, but because there were so many collapsed deals due to finance, it was just like, what does that even mean anymore? Right? And a lot of what you're saying rings very true in terms of where are they going. And I've got quite a few relationships with banks and one bank in particular, I won't say, but I understand the sales wheel and mechanisms behind the bank. And there's so much movement between, their entry-level frontline workers and what their expectations are for mortgage numbers, right? For their credit numbers. And where these, like lots of times they are brand new, they're not educated. And, I think that has a big impact in terms of the quality of the approval that you end up getting. So
and in all the years that I've been doing this, I have so many clients that come to me that have said, we've been pre-approved, but something happened. So were they really truly pre-approved by an expert?
Great.
Yeah.
That actually followed the due diligence. So let's just get super clear on what does a buyer need to do to be pre-approved? How would a new home buyer, so when they're listening to this, they're like, oh crap, okay, what do I need to do? How would they know that they have gone through the process required to secure the pre-approval properly?
Well, first step, you need to work with somebody who's an expert, a true expert.
How will they determine that? How do they know?
Ask the questions. Find out how long they've been in the business and ask them. And also referrals from family, that also helps too. Referrals from, family and friends, that helps. And with the pre-approvals, there's another misconception out there is that people think the pre-approvals, they're gold. It's their go-to, like it's done. They're ready to go. Just because they're pre-approved, their finances, it doesn't mean that the house is pre-approved that they want to buy. Or they also have to go for high ratio mortgage insurance if they're putting down that less than 20%. The insurance company might not approve them. So the other thing with the most important item with the pre-approvals, and especially dealing with a mortgage broker, is you tell the mortgage broker everything. Everything. You tell me everything. And I'm the one that decides what's the nice to know and what's the need to know. And also, I'm also know what do I need to ask you? Because you don't know what to tell me. I need to know what to ask you.
Yes.
And I also use the word peeling the onion. I use that every day. Because if you tell me one thing, like you're working full time and this is what you're
What haven't you said?
Well, yeah. And then I'm going, oh, okay. So how much do you make a year? Oh, I make 60 grand, but I'm on commission. Oh, when did you start? I started a month ago.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah. So it really, you have to tell them everything. And when they're asking you the questions, you're pretty much going to know how much they know.
So find somebody you trust. So exactly how you said.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today. And Jackie and I actually put something together for you. It is called the 2025 Homebuyer Pack. And it's got everything you need to start right away, from Jackie's ROI calculator to winning scripts for winning offer scripts, first-time homebuyer checklist, and a lot of other great deals. So step 1 is grab your free toolkit. Below, click that right away. Step 2 absolutely is to book with Jackie. You got to start your pre-approval with her, and I'm downstream. Step 3 is to book with me once you get that pre-approval. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.